With us now is Democratic Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal of Washington State. She serves on both the House Foreign Affairs and Judiciary Committees. Congresswoman, good to have you with us. You boycotted the speech. You opted for that rally on the National Mall. I'm sure you've seen the headlines this morning. What did you make of the president's message?
Look, I think, Anna, that it was typical of what I expected. First of all, very long-winded. I mean, when people are talking about 2 hours, he delivered the message he was supposed to deliver. Could he really not deliver it in 1 hour? People were falling asleep in there. But I think the main thing is there were so many lies again, and there was no vision. What is the vision for the future? Is it just to attack Democrats, to continue to tell lies, to lie about the economy and say this is the golden age when 60% of Americans can't afford education, 55% of Americans can't afford housing and health care? I mean, this is the state of affairs in this country that has happened because of Donald Trump's outrageous tariff wars. He thinks the Supreme Court is just something to, bend to his will. He doesn't believe in the Constitution. He doesn't have respect for the office of the President of the United States. And I think that's what we saw again last night.
You did send Marika Sharouni, an Epstein survivor, as your guest, one of several survivors there in the chamber last night. They wanted to feel seen. How did they react to the night?
Well, I think that's, listen, it was so courageous of them to go there and to be there because they wanted to make Donald Trump see them and have the Department of Justice respond to bringing these perpetrators and pedophiles to justice. And I didn't have much hope that he would do that. He complied with that. They are so brave. They're like, we're going to go and we're going to force people to pay attention to us. And so obviously, it was more of what they've been told over and over again, including by this Department of Justice, to sit down, to shut up, to not be seen, to be silenced. And they're saying, we're going to go everywhere, and we will face off with anyone, including the most powerful person in the world, because he happens to be the President of the United States.
I want to talk about one tactic the president used last night, calling on members to stand, especially this one moment. Take a look.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself.
And that second part addressing the Democrats who stayed seated, the president clearly trying to box Democrats in there. What was the message Democrats who stayed seated were intending to send?
The message is that he's the one who should be ashamed of himself because he allowed his Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, to shoot and murder at least 3 Americans that we know of and lie about it. This is not an issue that's going well for him. I think he knows that. He's trying to bring the focus back to, quote, illegal immigrants. But the reality is the people that DHS has been picking up are people who have been in this country, who have committed no crime, and are U.S. citizens in the case of Renee Good, Alex Preddy, et cetera. So I think he was trying to bring it back to things that have been successful in the past. The problem is that the American people have seen now what is happening. This is not about going after the worst of the worst. It has never been about that, Anna. You and I have talked about this so much. 73,000 people locked up in for-profit incarceration facilities, including U.S. citizens, including permanent residents, including people who are here with legal papers, as well as undocumented folks who have committed no crime. And now he's ignoring so many hundreds of court orders from judges who are saying that his actions are completely unconstitutional and against due process regulations. So he's trying to bring it back to what he thinks was successful before. But I think the American people have seen the truth of this, and I think that it is hurting the Republican Party. So they wanted to have something to put on attack ads. I just don't think it's going to work.
Your colleague, Congressman Al Green, was removed from the room for holding up a sign that read, "Black people aren't apes," a reference to the AI video Trump had posted about the Obamas. Congressman Green said afterwards that he thinks the president, quote, got the message. Do you think that's the case?
Well, the president certainly saw the message. How outrageous is it that we have to have signs like that at all? How outrageous is it that a president of the United States would post a video like that and then refuse to apologize and essentially double down even when staff tried to say it was a staff posting? And this is what I'm saying. You know, the disrespect for the Constitution, for the people of the United States, for the institutions that hold up our democracy. This is what is so stunning to me, that we could have somebody of that nature in that office. That's why I didn't go, because I don't think that we should have to respect somebody who so profoundly disrespects the Constitution and our democracy.
Let's turn to Iran. You're on the Foreign Affairs Committee. It took about an hour and a half before the president mentioned Iran, and he didn't say much. There's another round of negotiations tomorrow in Geneva. Now, the president's already shown some of his cards with the massive military buildup, but he has not explained why this is happening now. Could he have made his case to the American public without tipping off Iran?
I mean, listen, I don't think that forever wars are popular, and I think that the buildup in Iran, I've talked to some top Republicans about this. They are, they're saying, oh, he's not going to go to war with Iran. He's just trying to scare them. It's only scary, first of all, if you are willing to go to war. Number two, this is exactly what he did in Venezuela. He had a buildup. Republicans kept telling us that he wasn't going to attack Venezuela without congressional authorization. Marco Rubio said that to us directly in a briefing. And then he went and attacked Venezuela unconstitutionally, illegally. And so I worry, this is the same president that pulled us out of the Iran deal, by the way. I worry that this is once again Donald Trump using war to demonstrate unilateral power that he does not have and to distract the American people from whatever it is he's trying to distract us from. So I continue to be extremely concerned about this. I think Congress, Republicans have to be willing to say very clearly, you cannot go into Iran without congressional authorization. Absolutely not. This needs to be a debate on the House floor.
We haven't heard much of that from Republicans, even though the American people, the MAGA base, has said they want to stay out of any foreign entanglements. We'll be watching to see what comes of these important negotiations tomorrow. Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, thank you for your time. Appreciate you joining us.